Okay, today it's gonna be weird, guys. I tell you. You know why? I'm going to hear, for the first time, the widely acclaimed Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92, the debut album by Aphex Twin, the pseudonym of British electronic musician Richard D. James. He's one of the strangest guys you could hear of. With his enigmatic personality and talent, he has amassed a legion of loyal fans across the world. And from what I've been told, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree and his music is very weird. And that's what we are here for this channel, so let's go. So this is the plan. First, I'm going to share on camera my first impressions. Then, we are going to get a little into the details of the album and Aphex Twin. Later, I'm going to point out my favorite tracks so you can check them out. And finally, I'll reveal our weirdometer to rate how weird this album is. So if you're ready, let's go. Well, that was not what I expected for an album titled Selected Ambient Works. I feel like I was tricked. Let me tell you guys, it is definitely not an ambient album as one would expect from Brian Eno or Philip Glass. Despite being named Ambient Works, this is something else, let me tell you that. How can I define it? Let me think. Let's say the album is the perfect mix, the blend, the baby between techno and ambient. In fact, Wikipedia describes the songs as ambient techno. While it has the rhythm and beats of the techno/house genre, Aphex Twin manages to create a subtle atmosphere full of textures, making you fall into a dreamlike trance. While I reckon there's a bunch of blissful tracks, I feel deep down dark tones all over the album. You cannot help having these headbanging moments but feeling at the same time kind of unsettled. For me, it's uncomfortable. It's like being in a limbo between these two distinct worlds of techno and ambient. But I appreciate it takes you out of your comfort zone, and the album starts to grow into you as you listen to it more and more. And some of its tunes are really amazing and exquisite. Is this something I will listen to every week? I guess no, but I feel you have to listen to it at least once in your lifetime and probably a couple of times a year. Especially when you're feeling dangerous and eager to explore more darker places of yourself. Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92 was released in 1992. The album consists of ambient techno tracks recorded onto cassette, allegedly dating as far as 1985, when James was still a teenager. It was made using homemade equipment constructed from standard synthesizers, as well as drum machines. Allegedly, the recording sound quality has been described as poor due to being recorded into a cassette that was later damaged by a cat. Yes, by a cat. You may have noticed I used a lot the term allegedly. Let me tell you something, Richard D. James, aka Aphex Twin, it's a weird lad. Damn, but the weird is what we are looking for in this channel, right? The whole life surrounding Aphex Twin has been full of myths, rumors, and blatant exaggerations that have been mostly started by Richard D. James himself. Just FYI, in the 1990s, James bought a 1950 armored car complete with working machine guns, which he claimed to drive around his hometown. He also purchased a disused bank in London where he claimed to live in a converted bank vault. As you see, both his exquisite creative abilities and his enigmatic life have helped create a cult figure that would last for many years to come. Anyway, let's go back to the album. The album was recognized for its revolutionary sound and it continues to amaze people all over the world. Pitchfork journalist Pecoraro called it the most interesting record ever created with a keyboard and a computer. I agree with this statement and add that if you like ambient music like myself, let yourself be challenged and give the record a spin. The first of my favorite track is Exile. This is the first track of the album. It's super emotional and uplifting piece, full of blissful beats. It's the high point. From this point onward, the album gets darker. The second one, Jay's Police, there is tasty beats, catchy bass lines, ethereal scenes, ocean's waves breaking in the distance. You are gonna be hooked. The third one is Schottky, or Shotky, I guess. With this song I feel I'm in the middle of the jungle. The sun is setting, and the foliage is dense. There's primal fear and tribal urges inside you. Give it a shot. The last one that I like is Ptolemy, with its Jesus, simple and futuristic. You'll feel it's 2080 and that we live in a future run by corporations. Now let's check our weirdometer. Well guys, this album was weird, but not that much. Don't get me wrong. Richard D. James, aka Aphex Twin, I think is way more weird than this album, and something tells me that there's some other stuff in his discography that will show his true colors. But then again, this is a solid album, way ahead of his time, and although sometimes dark and with crazy ideas, not that weird. So weirdometer says 3.5 out of 5. Thank you so much guys, and hope to see you next time.